Good morning and welcome to today's mortgage market update for today, January 12th, 2022. I am out traveling right now. I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to meet up with another mortgage friend of mine to just see what they're doing, exchange some ideas. I'm super excited for today, but there was some news in the headlines today and I wanted to make sure I came on first and got to you before you saw some headlines and I explained to you what was going on in the market. So I know I don't have the best lighting today. Sorry about that. We'll just have to deal with it. But I wanted to make sure I came on today and let you know that CPI came out today. That's the Consumer Price Index. And if you remember and you watch my videos, you know that CPI deals with inflation. And the headline is that inflation hit 7% today. And that's because December's rating came out where inflation went up 0.5%. Now, this was expected. This is not something we were not expecting. We were actually expecting to hit 7.1%, so we didn't quite get to where we expected. So this is not affecting the stock market and the bond market the way that we expected it to. So this is actually a good thing. But you got to remember, just because we expected it, it doesn't mean that the markets are happy about the inflation. So the biggest jump here was in two specific sectors. It was in housing, specifically in the rents. If you look at housing in general and in the rents, it went up depending on which study you look at. New rents are up about 17%. So it's people getting new leases. But if you look at people just renewing their lease, the lease rates are up about 8%. So housing was a big one. And then the other one is used cars. Now that's probably another segment that you expected me to say. Those are the two biggest jumps. The other biggest thing to know about the CPI is we look at the core rate. And if you remember, the core rate strips out food and energy. And that rose from 4.9% to 5.4%. So as you know, you're feeling inflation in your pocketbook. You're going to keep feeling it. And we do expect it to continue to rise until we get the February numbers, which won't come out until March. And we expect it to go up to probably about 7.5%. So these are the largest numbers we've seen in 30 years. So this is a big deal, folks, and it's going to continue. And we're going to talk more about this on my forecast on Friday. So I'm going to talk to you about that at the end of the video. Some other real quick things I want to hit. We had a really rough week in mortgage bonds last week, and it caused for interest rates to rise. So if you talked to us last week, make sure you continue talking to us because interest rates did keep going up multiple times last week. And there is a 1 p.m. 10-year bond auction, and that can affect where the bond market goes today and what happens to rates today. And we always like to tell you what's going on with the mortgage applications. So the Mortgage Bankers Association, the MBA, released their data this morning. So purchase applications were up 2% last week, but they were still down 17% year over year. And as we tell you every week, that is not the full story. You got to remember to factor in the cash buyers. And when you factor in the cash buyers, we're still down about 8% year over year. But you got to remember, this is still really, really strong considering the higher home prices that we have and that inventory is down 13%. And of course, the higher interest rates. Refinances, despite the higher interest rates, are actually remaining flat and they are still making up 64% of all transactions. And that has to do with the fact that some people still haven't taken advantage of the lower rates. And the rates are still lower than a lot of people have currently. And they're taking advantage of debt consolidation loans. So they need to pay off credit cards, consolidate a first and second loan, send a child to college, do renovations. It's still a great time to get those things taken care of. And interest rates are up 0.6% from where they were at this time last year. So stay tuned for Friday. I have a really special guest coming to visit me in Carlisle, and we are going to join together and bring you the 2022 forecast. So it's going to be something you're going to want to tune in with. We're going to talk to you about the history of what's happened in the past to change our rates and what's coming through this year. So we're going to talk about housing, we're going to talk about interest rates, and you're not going to want to miss it. So any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to the Rebecca Foot Mortgage team. We are here. We've had a huge uptick in applications this year, especially for purchases. So if you do want to look at purchasing, refinancing, new construction, make sure you reach out to us. We are ready to help you. 609-4044. You can reach the team. Jump on to RebeccaFoot.com. My contact information is right there on the screen. Have a great day.